Hi everybody. All right, today we're going to talk about planting tomatoes. Tomatoes are one of my favorite things I love to plant in the garden. I usually plant about 200 plants or so. My favorite kinds are Rutgers, Bonnies, and Tappies actually. And I sometimes have a couple other varieties that are thrown in there, but those are my favorites. And I do a lot of tomatoes because I like to make a lot of sauce. And I'll include my favorite spaghetti sauce in the links down below. And we use the tomato, when I just can the whole tomatoes, we just make chili out of it or lots of soups out of the stuff. I make my great pizza sauce as well. It's Laura's semi-famous pizza sauce. I'll include that link as well. So we use a lot of tomatoes for a lot of different things, and we make a lot of salsas and stuff. So I just wanted to show you guys today how I plant tomatoes. And I have two different ones here today. This one's the Bonnie's Best. That is pretty standing, pretty good. And then I also have one that is having a little problem, right? But I want to show you how these are totally fine to plant and they will recover, and I'll show you how. So it's really great. So don't be afraid if they look a little floppy lopsy, okay? So first I like to go ahead and make a hole. And we'll first do this one here that's all flopsy lopsy, right? You don't have to actually go down too deep. I'm actually going to make this a little bit longer instead of deep, because you don't need to go deep. And then right here in this bucket I have right here is eggshells and Epsom salt, and it's basically a 50-50 mix. I dried up the eggshells and then crushed them up and then mixed it with some Epsom salt. So I'm just going to take, there's really no right or wrong. It could be 2 tablespoons, and just go ahead and sprinkle it in the bottom. That's going to add a lot of nutrition to it. And then it's also be able to help the plants absorb stuff that's already all the nutrients in the ground. So that's a good thing. Okay, for this one, we're just going to gently squeeze the bottom. And you can kind of break up tomato plant roots. They're pretty hardy like that. And I'm also going to just pinch off, and actually pinch off and throw those ones in the thing, because that's nutrients too, right? I'm going to do the bottom ones, because this one's going to be on the ground a little bit. So I took off quite a lot of the bottom ones. So now I'm actually going to plant it on its side. If you can zoom in a little bit, I'm going to plant it on its side like this, because all these little nodules right here are actually, and all the little hairs, those are become roots. And the more roots that are in contact with the soil, that's able to draw up even more nutrients. So that's why I like to not just do these roots. These will create roots all along the bottom here too. Whatever's in contact with the soil will create a root. So I'm just going to put that in there and go ahead and cover that up. So right now I don't need to go ahead and stake him up. I'm just going to put him like this, and he'll find his way pretty good. And while we're talking about showing this off, this is actually cattle panels or hog panels. Either one work really good here. And we use the rebar right here just to kind of hold them in on every other side. And this to me has been the best way to go ahead and stake up tomato plants. The tomato cages never work. I mean, or unless you want to buy the really expensive, really thick gauge ones, they kind of help. But this really is the best way. I mean, I've done matrix systems with string and wire and sticks, and nothing works. So this is my favorite, and they actually do a really good job of kind of climbing up. And at the very top, sometimes I end up having to use some garden Velcro to kind of get back in the long limbs kind of back over here so they're not drooping. Because the point of getting tomatoes staked up off the ground is so that the plant leaves do not touch the soil, because that's where diseases can be picked up as well. So we try to keep all the leaves off the ground and all the stuff, quite a far as they keep growing, and keep trimming them up a little bit too. So we'll do another video on how I trim it up. So that's pretty much how I like to plant that one. And then maybe you've got one that's a little more straight up like this. You're going to do basically the same thing. You're going to take off the bottom ones, and then you can actually still kind of bend it and do it like this, and we're just going to bury it like that after I dig the hole. So I'll be able to plant it just like that. And then again, all those extra little hairs are going to grow into roots that are going to be able to draw more nutrients. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please like, subscribe, and share. Go to my website, foodprude.com, and sign up for my newsletter, where I'm always releasing awesome gardening tips and free resources. So thank you.